Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with, would you believe it or not, it's my husband and my 6th wedding anniversary. It just seems like we just got married. So I've made a card for him for our anniversary, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the card up. And yes, we are using the Silhouette Cameo. That is what we'll be using from now on, because I'm no longer going to be using the Cricut. So if you're watching my channel because you have seen previous videos where I've used the Cricut, I won't be using that anymore. But I will sometimes reference how you can possibly make the card using a Cricut if you don't have the Silhouette. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the card. So this is the card that I've made for our anniversary, and this is what is known as a step card. So it sits like so. I'm going to just turn this up this way so you can see it. Now I know you're probably wondering, how did I get the picture inside the number? Well, come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so before we get started and start putting our card together, I'm going to show you how I laid this on the mat. So I have my mat already set up, and we're going to go to my library and we're going to pick our card. Now this is a Laura Whitlock card. It's called A2 Birthday Step Card. Now I found when I went to search for this card with the ID number, for some reason it would not come up with the ID number. So what I'm going to do is give you a link in the description bar on Laura Whitlock's website, and when you click on the link to the card, it will take you to the card on the Silhouette website. I don't know why when you put the ID number in there it does not come up. So we're going to go ahead and double click and add this to our mat. Okay, there we go. And here is our card. So now we're going to be removing some of this because we're not going to be using it. If you decide you want to use some of these pieces, you can go ahead and do that. So the first thing, we're going to keep the size that it comes in as. So what we need to do is start ungrouping some things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my image, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to click ungroup. So now my pieces are ungrouped. And before you move anything, which I shouldn't have done, we're going to make sure we group this back together because you are going to need your score marks. So I'm going to click on everything in that image and I'm going to click group. So now I can go ahead and move this, and you'll see my score lines move with it. So these two pieces here are part of your step pieces, so you can go ahead and, if you're going to make them the same color, and group those back together for when you cut them out. I'm just going to move those over. This is your top layer on the card, and then we have our scallop layer, and then we have our oval layers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing some of these pieces because I'm not going to be using them. So I'm not going to use this piece, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm not going to use the cake, and I'm going to use a different font for the happy birthday. So I'm going to take that out and remove that, and I'm going to go ahead and keep these two pieces. We're just going to resize them to a different size. So it looks like we still have some pieces of the cake left, so we need to get rid of that as well. So I'm just going to highlight all of it and get rid of that. So this is the piece that we're going to be working with to put our number, or the number of my anniversary, and I'm going to be putting a image inside. So we are going to be using the print and cut feature once again today to do this card. So we first need to get this the size that we need it to be. This layer that we took apart, we're going to keep that the same, and we're also going to keep this layer the same. This is where I'm going to put, instead of the card came with happy birthday, we're going to make this happy anniversary. So as you can see, you can change the way a card is by just changing the wording or get rid of the wording that is already on the card. So we are going to have to squeeze our happy anniversary within here, but it's still going to work. So I'm going to just move this one over to the side as well, and we're going to keep our banner at the size it is as well, because this layer and this layer will be on top of our banner. So I'm going to move that one out the way, and we're going to work with this one. Now this one we are going to enlarge a little bit, only because I need to be able to get the number 6 within here and get the photo in there as well. Now you can make this card, but if you need to change the number or you want to put something else in there, I'm just going to give you a general idea how I'm doing my card, so you can, if you need to change the number and you want to make it a 1, 2, or whatever, you can do that. So I'm going to resize this, because right now it's showing at the width is 2.34 and the height is 3.280. And what I want to do is change this to make the width 2.520, and we're going to make the height 3.535, and we're not going to click the lock aspect ratio, and we're going to click apply. So now I just made that just a little bit bigger, and it still will fit within our scalloped edge, and we are going to keep the scallop the same size. So now let's talk about bringing in our number. So we're going to go to the text tool and click on that, and the font that I am using, and all the fonts that are over here are the fonts that you have on your computer. So you can go to websites and download other fonts to your computer. I believe I got this font that we're going to be using from thefont.com. If I didn't, I'll try to put a link as to where I did get the font if you want to use the same font. So the font that I'm going to be using is called Aharoni. So we're going to type that in, and we are now at that. So now I'm going to go ahead and just type my number 6. Now I need to make this bigger because we want it to fill up this whole space. So I'm going to get what font size we should use. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to go ahead and just keep enlarging the 6 until it fits within the oval shape. So now that's just a little too big, so I'll just keep resizing this until I get it to fit. And you may need to do a little stretching and so forth and moving around. And it looks like I'm going to make it that. So if you go over to your text size window, it says it's 442.5 point. So, but like I said, you resize it to whatever size you need for whatever number you're going to use. So now we have our 6 in here, and what I like to do is I just want to make my line darker so that I can see that, because we're going to do the print and cut, but it's not actually going to cut this line here. Okay, so now that we have our 6 in the center where we want it, what we can do, if I did want to print those lines, if you go to your line style window or tool and you click print lines of selected shapes, it will go ahead and print that line as well when you send it to your printer. but I don't want to do that, so we're not going to worry about doing that. So now what we need to do is get our picture inside here. So I'm going to go up to the open folder, and my picture is a JPEG, so I need to bring up the JPEG image, and then I'm going to find my picture, and it's this one right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your picture and you're going to drag it. Now it will drag over, and then it will drag into the 6. So basically you will just take it and keep dragging it till you get it where you want it. Now it looks like we're not actually all in the picture together, so and I want to move this around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go up to the fill pattern window, and I'm going to click my advanced options, and then I'm going to click pan pattern, and then you'll go and you'll grab that little circle there, and then you can move the picture around and kind of get it where you want it. So I'm just going to leave it right there for now. So now that I have that in there, that can be all grouped together by right clicking. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta make sure we grab everything. Now we can group it together so that I can take this and move it into my scallop. And if I need to, which I think I'm going to do, I want to do a little bit more adjusting. Well, actually, you get the idea. I'm going to go over to my original file so you can see how that came out. I did end up making the 6 a little flatter so that I could get both of our faces in the number 6. And I want to make a suggestion as well. I've done a lot of cards, and sometimes I don't write down what font that I use, and then when I try to go back and get the font, I can't always get it off of the file. So when you're creating your cards, and if you're going to use the print and cut and you're going to do some wording on your card using the fonts that you have on your computer, make sure that you write somewhere in your file the name of the font that you're using. I'm finding that I'm having to do that a lot since I do a lot of cards, and I don't necessarily always write it down in my notebook where I keep all of my designs and the sizes of everything that I've cut. So just a little recommendation for you is to make sure that you go ahead and do that. So now for the happy anniversary, which was our layer right here, I just went ahead and used the text tool again, and I typed out happy anniversary, and then the font that I used is this Brannboll Smal, and that's another font that was on my computer. So basically that's it for our card. So what I want you to do is, if you're going to make this card with me, go ahead and set up your card, set up your number that you're going to use for the oval circle, and if you're going to put a picture in there or you're going to put a fill pattern in there, go ahead and do that. Meet me back at the table and we'll put this card together. Okay everybody, so let's bring up the supplies so we can get started and we'll put this card together. So once you lay it out on your mat, it's pretty simple to put it together. So as you can see, you have your perforated line. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold back on this line. You're going to do a mountain fold, and you're going to do a mountain fold across here. And then for your perforated edges here, you're going to take this one and fold it back, and then you'll have your mountain fold here. So your card ends up being like this. Now this is some dark color cardstock, so hopefully you'll be able to see where I have folded on the perforated edges. This cardstock is some Recollections cardstock, and it is textured. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I got my score marks lined up and fold it down flat, so when the card stands up, it'll stand up like so. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and put our pieces on, our little strips here. And what I've gone ahead and done is inked my edges using the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is the brush corduroy. So this piece is going to go right here, and then you're going to take your other piece and put it over here on this side. So let's go ahead and we're just going to get our Tombow out and get those pieces added. So we'll get our tape on here, and we're going to place our piece, and you're going to try to line it up in the middle there. I'm not going to say I'm going to get it accurate, but it's pretty close. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some tape on my other piece, and then we'll line that piece up and place that along here on this side and press down. So when we fold this, it's going to look like that. So now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and take our top layer and add it to our piece right here. So now this cardstock, I'm not sure, I don't remember where I cut this out from, because I cut this out a while ago and I didn't keep the cards, remember where I took it from. Okay, everybody, I have no idea what paper pack I cut this from, so I'm sorry I won't be able to tell you. But we're going to go ahead and lay this piece down as well, and once again I have inked my edges using the brush corduroy. So we'll get our tape on here, and once again I'm just going to use my Tombow. This is just a small sheet here, and I'm going to open this up and lay this out so I can get this lined up where I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and place it right there, and then just make sure I've got it down there. So now we can go ahead and fold it like so. So now what we're going to do is, I just want to crease this just a little bit more here across, because I do want it to lay flat or somewhat flat. And I think what it is that I need to bend my paper just a little, or my cardstock. Okay, so now we're going to head, and I've already added my piece along the top here with my photo and the number 6, because it is our 6th anniversary. And I've gone ahead and inked that edge along there as well using the brush corduroy, and then I stamped out anniversary wishes, and this is from a stamp set that's by My Creative Time. It's the teeny tag greetings, and it looks like this. I'm sorry for that glare. And I just stamped that out using the brush corduroy. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and popped this up with some foam tape. So we're going to take the backing off the foam tape, and then we're going to add this to the inside of the card. And we're just going to place that. I'm going to come up just a little bit here and place this in the center here. And then we can go ahead and add our little greeting down here. So what I'm going to do is I have my piece that we cut out, and then my top layer piece here, and I'm going to take my Tombow adhesive again and just get that taped on there. And these are just some of the scraps left over from the card that I had, and scrap pieces from this top layer here. So then I've taken some craft cardstock to cut the bottom layer out of our little banner. So we'll add our banner, and I think I'm going to pop the banner up as well. I'm going to lay this piece on first, and then we're going to pop the banner up. So let's flip that over and get some tape on there. And let's make sure we put it the right way, don't have it upside down. And I'm going to line it up across and then place that. Now I'm going to take my foam tape or foam square. Just going to add a little small one in each corner. See here. Pull this out. We'll put one here. And then we'll put one on the end. And so then we'll have that pop up as well. Right there. So as I said, this is really quick and easy to put together. The hard part, or actually the part that will take you some time, is just laying out your pieces on your mat. So there, now we have it. So there is the anniversary card. But I'm going to lift this up because this is definitely, I had put this on here crooked. So let me try that again and line that up. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few little bit more embellishments, and then I'm going to come back with the finished card. Okay everybody, so I am back with the finished card. So what I've done is I've taken some of these candies, and I've used these before. These work great when you can't add any bling on a card and you want to kind of make it like for a mail. You can use these instead. I really like these. I bought these at a scrapbooking show, I think last year, or it might have been the year before, and I haven't been able to find them since, so I may have to check online for them. So what I've done is I've added some on each side here of the step card, and then in my center I went ahead and used a rolled flower that I made using the My Creative Time die, a rolled flower die to make, and it looks like this, and I just stuck a little pearl in the center. I just kind of wanted to cover up that little hole that the number 6 made when I printed that out. So now for the inside, I haven't put my inside sentiment in because it's going to be something personal to my husband. But what I did do was I took my Card Creator die number 4, which measures 3 7/8 this way by 2 5/8. And I scanned that onto the computer, and then I put in my inside sentiment. So now if you don't have the Card Creator die, you can just go ahead and print something out on your printer using those measurements I gave you. Once again, that's 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. You would have to cut it out, but you would first go ahead and put your sentiment on your computer using whatever software you have, and then you can go ahead and run it through using the Spellbinder die. Or if you don't have the Spellbinder die, just cut it so it measures out to be that. So the other thing I've gone ahead and done is just, I made this envelope previously when I was showing how to use, I believe it was the We Are Memory Keepers punch board for the envelope. And I had this left over, and I said I'd save it because eventually I would need to use it for something, and it ended up, it happened to be the right color, so that's what I'm using. And on the outside I've just stamped out, "To love and be loved is everything," and that's from a, I believe, Fisker's stamp set. So that's it everybody. This is my anniversary card that I've made for my husband for our 6th wedding anniversary. Thanks for watching everybody. Bye.